Hi there, this is Ranjit, and in this video we'll be doing the review for the Samsung Galaxy Note 9. As you can see, I have two of them. Actually, this is the international variant that comes with the Qualcomm Snapdragon 845 chipset, and this is the actual Exynos variant that is sold in India. Actually, I was in US and I used this for about 4 days, but when I came back to India, I was using this Exynos variant that is sold in India. So most of my review and my thoughts would be based on this device, but again, the camera is same on those both. So I'll use some of the samples that I'll show you regarding the camera even from this one, and I'll divide it between the pros and cons. As you can see the list, and yes, it does have quite a bit of cons and some peculiar cons, I would say, so that you can make an informed decision. But before that, here are the specs for the Samsung Galaxy Note 9. So as you can see, it comes with a 6.4 inch Super AMOLED screen, and it comes with the base variant comes with 6 gigabytes of RAM and 128 gigabytes of storage. There's also one more variant that comes with 512 gigabytes of storage, and it's powered by the Exynos 9810 chipset in India, and the international variant will be Snapdragon 845, and other specs are on the screen for your reference. So let's quickly divide it between the pros and cons. First, let's talk about the pros. And the first thing that you will notice is the screen. They have actually increased the screen size on this one. Now this is a 6.4 inches screen that they are having. Though in terms of width and height, it's not that much bigger from the Note 8, but again, still, it's a massive screen, and that is something that you will see. And I have to say, again, it's one of the best quality screens that you can get. It's a Super AMOLED, the best that Samsung has as of now. So the screen quality is really good, and it also supports HDR10. So again, great screen quality. Again, in terms of brightness also, if you leave it on auto brightness, no issues. Even in direct sunlight, if you go out there, you'll be able to easily see what is there on the screen. And this is a minor thing, but I've noticed this a lot on even higher end phones. The auto brightness calibration is done perfectly on this phone. When I was using this phone, I've used this phone now for several weeks, I didn't have to worry about the auto brightness. I'm just leaving it on auto brightness and it's working. I don't have to go inside and fiddle with the auto brightness. So the auto brightness calibration has been done very well. Now, I obviously like the screen quality on this one, and still Samsung is retaining this always on screen. This is something not new, but I still find it very useful. You don't have to pick up the phone again and again. If you see some notifications, those icons will come over here. And yes, it does have a physical LED notification light also. So I'm glad to see that Samsung didn't skimp on those features. Now moving to call quality, I tested this one here in Hyderabad with the Airtel 4G and Jio, and it worked fine. Currently, again, I'm using it in dual SIM mode with Jio and Airtel, and the performance was very good. No problems regarding the call quality or anything like that. For the international variant, I had tested this one with a T-Mobile SIM in US. Again, it was fine over there with T-Mobile SIM. Now moving to another thing is that this Note 9 also has the stereo speakers setup. And I would say it's good to have stereo speaker setup, but again, if I compare it with some other premium phones, for example, the iPhone 10, I feel in terms of loudness, the iPhone 10 speakers in stereo mode are definitely louder than this one. Don't get me wrong, it's not bad, but again, it's also not as loud as on the iPhone 10. And the iPhone 10 also has slight depth bass. This is lacking on this one. Now, biggest thing Samsung was touting about this smartphone is the new S Pen, and now the S Pen finally has Bluetooth, so it can do some new tricks with the S Pen. For example, if you are in the camera app, the Samsung's own camera app, mind you, and this is useful for selfies. If you go in the selfie mode, you can now, if you press this button on the S Pen, it can take a selfie. The S Pen remote, they call it, and you can take selfies using that. So that is one thing that you have. For example, it's easy. If you have a group of people like this, you can just put your phone like this and just frame it and just click this, and it's going to take a selfie. So you can take selfies with this. Apart from this, Bluetooth functionality is only limited to this as of now. Samsung has said that they have opened this API, so developers can develop new apps using that. But as of now, I found this functionality only while taking selfies. Apart from this, all the S Pen features like you have seen in earlier Note devices are still there. So all of those options are still there. You can sign on PDF, Word documents and all those things, and that is still there. So for the Bluetooth, I would say as of now, I personally just used it for taking selfies using this option. And frankly speaking, I was using this phone on and off, and I used the S Pen only once. This was a peculiar situation. I was out with my wife. We had gone to a movie, and I just received a call from one company, had to sign an NDA document. So I told them I'm out and I'll come back and do it around 9:30 or 10. They told that it's very late. I need to sign out the NDA because they wanted to send a review in it. So I just thought, give me a second. I just pulled out the S Pen and the document that they had sent. I could just sign over that and send it. So yes, the S Pen can be a useful tool for people at times, but frankly speaking, I didn't use the S Pen a lot. It might be very different for you. Maybe if you, for me, as you see, I keep changing phones because I have to test it. Maybe if this was my primary smartphone, I would have used the S Pen a lot. But again, all the functionality of the S Pen is still there on this device. Now moving to the battery life, this is a huge improvement. I would say it has a 4000 milliamp hour battery. And when I tested the Galaxy S8 last year, my biggest gripe was the battery life, because end of the typical day, it used to just come down to around 10 or 12%, and that used to make me very, very nervous. With this Note 9, thankfully that's not the case. And guys, I'm testing this Note 9. I've changed the screen resolution. Default it comes at full HD, but I'm testing it one with the Quad HD plus, and I've also enabled this always screen on time. Hence, if you just keep it on full HD and disable this on always on screen on time, your mileage will be even better. But even with this setting, it was easily lasting me for a day, and almost if it was not a very heavy day, about 1.5 days. So definitely the battery life is a huge improvement. I would say even if you're sort of a heavy user, it will easily last you for a typical full day. So in that aspect, I would say Samsung has done a great job. Some people have quoted me that they are getting about 2 days of battery life with this one. Personally, I was not getting that. I was hovering about 1.5 days. But again, that is good enough in my opinion, and a huge improvement compared to the Note 8. Now moving to general performance, again, it is having a Samsung skin. It's called the Samsung Experience UI. And even the base variant, this is the base variant that comes with 6 gigabytes of RAM. And thankfully, I didn't notice any issues of lagginess or jitteriness with this device. Yes, if you go to the left, you still have Bixby. I hate that. But apart from that, I would say no issues regarding performance of this device. And surprisingly, the RAM management also has been done very well. When I was using this phone, I didn't have any issues with RAM management. And in fact, I've changed some apps for, I'm not even using default apps. For example, SMS app I've changed and all those things. Then also I didn't have any issues of RAM management. So RAM management and the general experience of the using of the phone is good. And I also got one security update during my testing, and that changed the Android, security month from, it was July, I think, so now it's August. So yes, they are releasing Android security updates also for this device, looks like monthly. Now moving to another thing is that I like this is that even the base variant now comes with 128 gigabytes of storage. Unlike last year, that was restricted to 64 gigabytes. So even if you're sort of a power user, I would say it's a good option. The base variant comes with 128 gigabytes of storage and 6 gigabytes of RAM. And even if you need more storage, thankfully, they have kept the micro SD card slot. Yes, it's a hybrid one, so you can't use the second SIM. But again, if you requires more storage, even that 128 gigabytes, you are sort of covered. Now moving to another good thing about this device is that the camera is also very good on this device. Samsung hasn't compromised on that, and as you can see, the rear facing camera is a dual camera setup. Both are 12 megapixel. The primary one actually is having variable aperture, means it can move between 1.5 and it can move to 2.4, so that's a good thing. And the second one is actually a telephoto lens. Here are some of the sample shots that I have taken with this Note 9 in varying light conditions and even at night. As you can see, the camera performance is actually actually really good. And even in night and artificial lighting conditions, low lighting situations, I would say the camera performance is actually really good. Also, moving to the front facing camera, it's just a 8 megapixel, but again, as you can see, the front facing camera performance is also very good. But one thing is that I think so, even if you disable the beauty mode and everything, it tries to make the picture slightly soft for the skin tone. So that is one thing that I've noticed. But again, even with the front facing camera, though it's just having a single lens, you can get that portrait mode and all those effects. So in terms of camera performance, also the camera performance is actually really good. And also in terms of video, if you shoot the video will come out really stable, even if you shoot the video handheld. So in terms of camera performance, also the camera performance was actually really good. So these were the good things about the Note 9. Let's now move to the cons. And this is my first biggest gripe, and this is the physical button here. And if you press it, it's underneath the volume rocker, and I've accidentally pressed it a couple of times. If you press that, Bixby just comes, as you can see. And as of now, there is no way to disable it. Maybe Samsung with the software update later on allows us to disable it. And I feel Samsung should allow us to remap this key to anything else. Maybe if they allow us to remap it to, let's say, Google Assistant, it would be great. But as of now, nothing like that is possible. And many times while using this phone, I have accidentally hit that key. So I really hate the Bixby. And guys, I don't have a problem with Bixby, but again, Bixby is simply not as good as Google Assistant, and it gets the things wrong most of the time. So personally speaking, I'm not using the Bixby, but it is sort of forced upon us. Now, moving to another thing is that this is a big device having a 6.4-inch screen. So if you have small hands, I would definitely suggest that you go to a local Samsung store or any mobile store and first pick up the device in your hand and see if it's comfortable for you or not. Another thing that I like about this device, this is not a con actually, I didn't like that in the Note 8. The Note 8 weight balance was not that good. Again, the Note 9 is not lighter than the Note 8 if you talk about that in terms of weight, but the weight distribution has been done very well. So again, it does not feel very top heavy, and even when I was using this phone for typing and doing stuff, I didn't feel that it was a little bit uncomfortable even after using it continuously for 10-15 minutes typing emails and stuff. So the weight balance has been done well, but again, it's a big phone. So before buying it, I would suggest you go to the nearest store and check it out in person and see if you like the weight and the dimensions of the device. And before we proceed, here is a word from the sponsor of this video, that is Mevi.in.
Mevi Thunderbeat Bluetooth earphones look stylish with metallic body. You can take phone calls and it supports passive noise cancellation. The ear hooks fit securely and stay in place even when you are working out or running. With Qualcomm CSR Bluetooth IC, the music quality is amazing and has great battery life. It has HD stereo sound with super solid bass. It supports aptX codec with lossless wireless audio. Use coupon code Geekyranjit15 at Mevi.in to get 15% discount on all Mevi products. See link in the description below for more info.
Now, this is one gripe that I have with Samsung, and I also had this with the S9 and the S9 Plus. Other companies are moving to faster quick charging methods like the Qualcomm quick charging 3, quick charge 4. For example, OnePlus, you can see dash charger. Oppo is going with walk charging, which is actually really fast. But Samsung is still sticking with Qualcomm quick charging 2 in this Note 9. This is the same thing, and the charger is also the same that we are finding with the last 3 years. So in that respect, I feel Samsung needs to catch up to the competition. It's not like it's bad in charging, but again, as it has that 4000 milliamp hour battery, they should have definitely gone with faster charging options than the Qualcomm quick charging 2 that you get on this one. One thing I like is that it does support quick wireless charging, and surprisingly, it's actually pretty fast for wireless charging. So that is one thing good that I liked about it. Now, moving to another gripe that I have with most Samsung phones is that Samsung has become good in terms of monthly Android security updates. They push out those fine, but in terms of actual Android updates, still I feel Samsung is actually pretty. So yes, this phone will definitely get the Android Pi update. But again, when is a question, because already what do you say, Google devices and Nexus Pixel devices have come out with Android P, and newer devices will be coming out with Android P. Yes, this will eventually get Android P, but again, seeing the track record of Samsung, it might be delayed for about 4 or 5 months. So that is something that Samsung really needs to work on. Also moving to, this is not a major con, I would say. This is sort of nitpicking that I'm doing, and this is regarding the face unlock and the iris. Now it's using a hybrid to do that, and still I would say it is not as fast as the face unlocking that we find on the iPhone 10. So that is also a minor gripe, but again, you do have that fingerprint scanner, and this is also a slight gripe that I have. Notice the fingerprint scanner here at the back. They should have made it slightly bigger, in my opinion. The target location is actually very small. And also, as you can see, I'm just holding the phone comfortably. Still, I'm not able to reach my finger. And so you have to actually stretch your finger a little bit. So again, yes, it's a big improvement compared to the Note 8, I would say, the location, but still, they should have made this slightly larger or made it in a round position so that easily you could have reached it. Again, you get used to this one. I got used to it now. As you can see, I'm able to reach it, but it took around 4 or 5 days for me to actually get used to the same. So these were the minor cons that I had with this device. And lastly, this is strange thing. I don't think so I've ever said this for a Samsung device, and strangely, the India pricing of this Note 9 is better in India compared to even the US pricing. In US, it's $1,000 before tax, and generally you have to pay tax. For example, in New York, the tax is about 8.5%, so it will be about $1,080 or something. But in India, it's for 67,000. So it's even cheaper in India compared to international pricing. So that's actually a good thing. So these were the pros and cons about the Galaxy Note 9. Definitely, it's a very good device. One of the best Android device. And personally, guys, I need to change devices frequently, so I can't use one device for long. But again, if I was in the market and I had a budget of around 70,000, I would definitely pick this one if size is not an issue. So guys, that's it for now for the review of this Note 9. I think so this is sold in India online via Amazon. I'll leave the link of Amazon India in the YouTube description area. And if you're planning to buy from Amazon, do use the link. It does help the channel. Anyways, guys, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. This is Ranjit, and I hope to see you in my next video. Take care, guys.